Well, first and foremost, thanks for taking some time of your busy day to come over and cover Rutgers wrestling. It's not every day we get this, so I appreciate that. Obviously, we're pretty excited about the season. It's no secret. I love the opportunity about being in the Big Ten. I'm sure we'll talk about that quite a bit. It's a tremendous challenge. It's the best wrestling conference there is. But before we get into that conference, we have a whole semester to wrestle and some exciting things happening within our program. We just finished our wrestle-offs, and there were some surprises and some really good efforts from some young guys and some better efforts from some of our veterans. So it's an exciting time right now. We feel this is the best team we've fielded since I've been here the last 8 years. So we look forward to it. Look forward to starting up this weekend at our Rutgers duels. And with that, we'll open up any questions.
What's the first thing that comes to mind when you see a schedule that includes Iowa, Minnesota, Penn State, all the other Big Ten teams?
The first thing that comes to mind is we need to be ready and we need to be competitive. And we've wrestled them before, maybe one in a season, sometimes two in a season, never 9 Big Ten duels in a season. So that's the biggest thing that comes to mind is you got to get ready for 9, and of course our home slate. You got to get ready for those big 4. It's probably, depending on the poll, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the country. But that being said, it's a great opportunity. Why else do you want to go through what these guys go through and not wrestle the best competition? We've always looked for the best competition, and now we don't have a choice but to wrestle it. So.
You do it coming off a year with an All-American. Obviously, there's other great talent here, Ashnaw, Camp. Do you feel like it's coming at the right time? Like you guys are ready for this, as ready as you could be for this stuff?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, everything's changed because of our All-American. The whole room, even dating back to March, has changed. Guys believe if Anthony Perotti can do it, well, I can do it too. So that has helped in our training and our preparation, and our guys are excited to take that next step from an individual standpoint. Now you throw in the whole team aspect of it and who we have to wrestle. It certainly makes it easier. These guys, to be an All-American, you got to beat the best guys somewhere along the line. And now they're going to have a great opportunity to put themselves in position to get that, to get that experience of wrestling those guys during the dual meet season and of course the Big Ten championship. So it certainly helps. But I think our guys are more prepared for it now because they believe they can win just based on what Anthony did.
How about Perotti coming back from that, and obviously?
Yeah, he's gotten better. I spoke to someone earlier today in an interview, and I get that's what comes to mind. He's gotten a lot better, and that comes with confidence. At this level, when you're winning, there's nothing like having confidence. He's more confident now than he's ever been. He had a great spring where he did some really good things at the University Nationals in freestyle, but he's just confident. His whole training has changed. He's confident in the room. He's confident when he wrestles against coaches and things like that. So that breeds, that just rubs off on other guys. So he's had a tremendous spring and summer. He's gotten stronger. He's gotten bigger, and he's gotten better. He wasn't our best wrestler. He had a great national tournament. He was not our best wrestler, and now he's right up there, maybe one of our best wrestlers, and that comes from confidence.
Expectations for Anthony Ashnaw?
They're high. I don't need to put any other expectations than he puts on himself. They're pretty high. The guy wants to win national tournaments and Olympic medals and world medals, and I believe in all those expectations. I believe in the hype. I haven't seen anybody work harder. He's going to have a great career. He's going to have a great career. Again, I'm not going to put those expectations on him. We have certain things we'll expect. We expect when he takes the mat, but man, he's got some lofty goals, and I wouldn't bet against him. That's for sure. He's pretty darn good.
How much does it help to have Andrew here? I guess first of all, when is Andrew eligible?
He'll be able to wrestle with a Rutgers singlet on January 2nd. We'll probably start him. He's coming off an injury, but we'll probably start him in a open tournament December 28th, maybe the Wilkes Open, to get his feet wet and get some matches in before he takes the mat against Iowa.
So how much does it help to have a guy? I mean, he wrestled in this conference. He knows this conference better, better than most of them.
Yeah, I think it helps. I don't know how often our guys pick his brain about, the daily grind of the Big Ten and having to get up for, a pretty good guy every single night. I'm not sure how much talk has been about that, but he knows how to prepare. He knows what he's looking, what he's staring down the barrel of. He knows when he comes back, it's 9 Big Ten duels and throw in Navy and Princeton, and he understands that. So, if it's one thing he can give our guys is what to expect is that's it. You know, you can't let your highs get too high and your lows too low. We've talked about it, and it's something he had a hard time dealing with maybe those first couple years. You know, he went from a time where he's never gotten scored on, never been beaten, to, you know, maybe losing 4 matches in a row, and then winning, and then losing, and then, you know, so hopefully he'll help our guys deal with that adversity. But that's we're going to certainly need someone to lean on like that, because it's new to all of us.
Can you put yourself in a high school wrestling, because it's your background, so can you put yourself in a high school wrestling fan or coaches or wrestlers mindset for a second, think how exciting it is to have camp and National on the same team?
I could put myself in a college, you know, and think that way. Yeah.
I mean,
no, it's pretty cool. You know, I'm a fan too. You know, I'm a coach, but I'm a fan of wrestling, and those guys, you know, made a lot of good memories, especially for the New Jersey people. You know, and put them in the. And there's others too. You know, Del Vecchio's a 2-time champ, and Geraldo's a 2-time champ, and Ethan Orr and Vizicaro. But to have 2 4-timers on one team is pretty neat. You know, it's pretty neat, and I think they're excited to wrestle with each other. You know, I don't know if they really thought about it until it really happened. So it's kind of cool for sure.
Scott, what is it about this team that makes you say you think it's the best one you put together here?
Yeah, we're judged on. It's really simple. We're judged on what you do at the national tournament, and the way I look at this team is I think we got 5 or 6 guys that really can compete at that national tournament, and we may have some others that can make the tournament and surprise some people. But I truly believe we got 5 or 6 guys that can win at the national tournament, and that's what excites me. And you know, dual meets are great, and the guys who know me, I'm a big dual meet guy. I get excited about the dual meets. I want to win every single time I step. You know, we put our foot on the line, but we're judged, and I've learned that. You know, I've learned that since being here. But we're judged on those last 3 days of March, and we got guys that can win at that tournament now. And again, going back to what I said earlier, based on what Parati did early on. Or last year, I should say, it's opened the door for all these guys. They all believe they can do it, and that's what has me excited about them.
Scott, can you go back, put yourself back 8 years ago? You're a high school coach, tremendously successful at Jackson, to where you personally are today, coaching in the Big Ten. I mean, could you ever have dreamed this?
No, I never. I mean, I make the joke, you know, wherever I speak, I use the school, but I was wrestling against Freehold Township and Freehold Borough and Old Bridge, you know, 8 years ago, and here we are with Iowa, Penn State, Ohio State, Minnesota, just at home. So I never thought like this would happen. I always wanted to get this program to a certain level to be able to compete at that national tournament. But when I got here, we were an EIWA team in a really great conference with a lot of tradition, and now we're in the Big Ten, which is even a whole nother world, you know, step up. So I never really, you know, sometimes you got to sit back and think, look where this thing has gone from 8 years ago, and just happy we're fortunate enough to be in this conference. And I mean, it's the highest level,
yeah.
So that's what has me pretty fired up about it.
Scott, can you discuss what Donnie's brought to the staff and what he brings to the table daily?
Tremendous work ethic. He's another head coach. He could probably be a head coach anywhere else. He's very, very good. He's the one guy everybody goes after. You know, we're really fortunate. He's about as good as it's get. First and foremost, he's a great person. He relates to these guys. He's got great relationships with them already. We're 2 months in, you know, so it's still early. But man, I mean, when you're a great person, you can relate to these guys and have relationships that quick. He's pretty special, and we're really, really fortunate. It's going to make us better. We talked about leaning on camp, but we'll lean on Donnie quite a bit. He spent his whole life in this conference, and he gets it. He understands what, you know, how to train, how to prepare. And I used to always pick his brain, even when I was at Jackson and he was at Hofstra, Wisconsin. I would always pick his brain on how to train guys and make sure they're peaking at the right time, and you know, not just the wrestling part, but the hygiene part and the diet part and all that good stuff and the sleep habits. So even while I was at Jackson, I would call Donnie and pick his brain. So he's really special, and we're very, very fortunate for sure.
Getting back to Anthony a little bit, Ashnault, is there ever a part of you that needs to manage the expectations for him?
We do. You got to slow him down. You got to slow down his training. He's a go-getter, and he only has one speed, and it can't be like that. I mean, it's great that's the way he feels when he steps into the practice room. It's businesslike, but you got to slow him down a little bit, you know. And I've gotten this from Donnie, just to go back. The one thing that's really, really important is rest. You know, he needs to take a couple days off. His body needs to be strong in March, and the way he trains, I mean, we got to slow him down, and things like that. That being said, he also needs to understand, you know, he's going to face some adversity. He's not going to go undefeated. He's just not. You know, that's just I'm being realistic. It's going to be hard. He's got a 3-time national champ in his weight this year. So he's got to understand there'll be some adversity. He's going to have to deal with that, but he's got such a good head on his shoulders, and he's lost before. We've seen him lose. He just lost this summer, so he lost last year too. So there's been some losses in his redshirt year and in the freestyle circuit. So I don't worry about him bouncing back. But when his body is fresh and he's doing everything right, he's very, very hard to beat. And that's what we got to do a good job as a staff of making sure he's ready late in the year.
Coach, can you talk about the quad meet, the Rutgers Duels this weekend? You didn't host one last year, but what are they going to do for you this season?
It's another chance to get down the weight, and it's not, you know, it's not a stressful situation. It's 3 dual meets against, you know, 3 Division III schools. I think it'll get our guys an opportunity to wrestle some other people and not put them right into an open tournament, which, believe it or not, could be a meat grinder. You know, you get into those open tournaments, it's 5 and 6 matches, and we felt some of our guys were getting beat up by that. So we just wanted to have 3 dual meets where they're guaranteed 3 matches and a chance to wrestle somebody else down the weight and just get ready for the season. You know, get ready for the season. So that's the mindset behind it. Schools are close. You know, they're close in proximity, so it's good for those schools. I know those coaches. It gives them an opportunity to wrestle a Big Ten Division I program, so they're excited about it, and that's the reasoning behind it.
I know you're selling tickets, season tickets. What's been the demand like for, you know, the buzz?
It's been high. It's been really high. We've done great. I don't know if it's appropriate for me to throw out numbers, but it's the best it's ever been, and it's only October, late October. But it's I think the Ohio State tickets went on sale. We're going to wrestle Ohio State here at the barn, so that'll probably sell out maybe by mid-afternoon here because there's only so many seats available, and it's Super Bowl Sunday. But other than that, our ticket sales are through the roof. I think it was a 350% increase a couple weeks ago. So it's going great, and there's high demand. Obviously, our home schedule certainly helps. So people are excited to see great wrestling. So that's always good.
You're going to wrestle them in the barn?
Yeah, we're going to do Ohio State at the barn, and the reason for that is simple. You know, there's women's basketball on Super Bowl Sunday. They're going to go, I think, at 2:00 in the afternoon, and there was no chance for us to get in there. I believe it's a Big Ten Network game. I'm not quite sure, but we're not going to go up against the Super Bowl. We can go at 6 at night at the rack, but then we'd be wrestling in front of 10 people, and one of those 10 would probably be my mom. So we're better off coming here, selling this place out. It would be
She'd
my
be
mom.
here.
Oh,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we're better off selling this place out, making it exciting, making it a great atmosphere for our guys. There's a lot of storylines with that match, you know, and there's a lot of people that want to see that match, you know, with the Ashnault Stieber and, you know, Parati and Demas and Campolatano wrestling his old school, and Kyle Snyder. So there's a lot of really interesting storylines, and it would be a shame if our fans didn't have an opportunity to see that. So we'll do it here. It'll be a great atmosphere, and our guys love wrestling in this gym as well. So we're excited about that.
Are you hoping to do most of your Big Ten matches at the
Yeah, I think all the other ones will be at the rack for sure. And then, you know, we'll do Ohio State, Princeton, Hofstra, and Navy here.
Any more questions?
Anything? Good. Thanks for coming, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks for doing it.
Yep.